and Volibear are being hovered over right now for Hips Don't Lie. So I believe these champions will be locked in. I believe they're just hovering to give more time to everyone else. Hopefully they picked up. That's a tanky team right there within those three people. That Volibear top, Jarvan jungle, or switch it around. Jarvan could go jungle and Volibear could go top. That's the same as what I just said. Jarvan could go top and Volley could go jungle. So either way there, that's a pretty tanky team already, especially with that Thresh Lantern, the EQ combo there for, or the QW combo for Thresh with that Volibear and the Jarvan is super, super important and impactful. And we do see Elise and Nami getting picked up. Nami has only been played a little bit here in the games we've casted, I believe, once.
I'm surprised I've seen as many Namis as I have this tournament. I've never personally felt Nami was a super strong pickup.
Yeah.
But the Namis that we've seen this weekend, some of them have really been really good with those Qs, which is really the hardest part of playing Nami. If you don't land those Qs, you're kind of just wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, and we do say that Elise jungle, which is quite a big pickup. Elise jungle is actually very strong. A very good champion in that jungle, getting that extra AP in there if you wanted to run perhaps an AD mid or an AD top. So, and now they're hovering over a Zyra and a Varus, and they've locked in both the Zyra and the Varus. They have an unbelievable team composition right now.
There's a lot of CC coming in.
Lots of CC, lots of AoE damage, a huge amount of teamfight AoE potential. And it's not. This is nuts at this point. What we might see here, though, is a Volibear perhaps going support and Zyra going mid.
No, it's definitely the Thresh support.
Or Thresh support. Yeah, sorry. I totally forgot he was even here. So many champions with variable positions. And we do see the final pickup for Negative Space is at Lux. So I assume that Lux will go mid against that Zyra. It's at this point, the CC...
It is going to be a huge part of this game.
It's going to be hard to team fight, is what it's going to be. It's what's going to happen. So, what could happen here is two things. Renekton could do that 2v1 lane that we've seen a little bit, and we've seen people do it for whatever reason. Whatever reason, they have been doing it. I don't know if it's the strongest move.
If it's going to be a 2v1, it's going to be because Varus and Thresh want to shut down Renekton and get that farm and get that tower as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so let's take a quick look at the ADC room pages. We'll check out that Flush Sushi first. He's running straight damage, MR per level, and armor. So nothing too out of the ordinary. It's weird to not see the lifesteal, but I guess it does happen. People like that flat AD early.
Yep.
And Perceptions, Negative Space ADC. We do see that Blue Beetle Ezreal coming out with a little bit more lifesteal. He's running 3 lifesteal Quints, physical damage marks, flat armor yellows, and then MR per level blues. So a standard altered blue build rune page Ezreal. So I imagine that most Ezreals nowadays are going to be blue Ezreals. Like, we don't usually see anything other than these blue build Ezreals at this point of the game. He has that kiting potential. He has that ability to that cooldown reduction. He might not be the strongest in terms of attack damage, perhaps as an ADC should be, which is why you need to follow that up with some higher damage top lanes, junglers, and mids. Yeah. So if you're picking a blue build Ezreal, you want a jungler that's not a support jungler. You don't want a Cho'Gath, you don't want a Nautilus. What you want is someone like Elise, which is what they have, or an assassin like a Kha'Zix. So the blue build Ezreal comes in with a certain team composition. And I believe that that's what's happening at this point. They built around that blue build Ezreal.
Yep.
And another reason why you get that blue build Ezreal is when you have a team that can't necessarily peel for you the best. So when you're not running a tanky front line, or when you're not running a support jungle, like a Nautilus, a Nocturne, or something that can peel for your ADC, you like that blue build Ezreal because of the cooldowns on its Arcane Shift. You like that blue build Ezreal because of the Iceborne Gauntlet. He can kind of kite for himself regardless of who's chasing after him. One of the only champions at this point of the game that can chase after a blue build Ezreal is that Jace. If the Ezreal's missing a skill shot, that Udyr can also get in there. Yep. But that blue build Ezreal is super strong at kiting him.
Yep.
We're raising the ban hammer here, guys. Please don't spam the chat rooms. It just becomes a hostile environment for everyone. So the game will here start in about 30 seconds. I also see a lot of people aren't going for that full blue build Ezreal anymore. They're kind of going for that modified blue build with the Bloodthirster or the IE. It's just to get that extra damage. As a lot of the criticism on that blue build Ezreal was that there wasn't enough damage. So getting that BT or IE in there gets that extra damage in there.
So the game is about to start. We'll see these skins coming up real quick. Whoops. Oh. So not a lot of skins coming out this game. We got the Blake Crystal Virus and Warring Kingdoms Jarvan the Fourth, and TP Ezreal. Yeah, that's. We're just trying to fix something on the stream here, I believe.
Here we go, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, so here goes the losers bracket semifinals, which is a best of three. Is it a best of three?
I don't believe so. I believe this is again best of one,
Is it
and
best
then
of one?
the final goes to best of three.
So it is the best of one. So it's going to be an intense game. It is going to be an intense game. These guys are fighting for the lives. Losers of this are end their tournament dreams and end fourth place. So the winners of this go on for the chance to complete in the loser bracket finals. If they win that, they end up going on to the finals. And if the winners of this game are guaranteed a prize. So I believe winners of this are guaranteed at least $10 RP.
Yep.
So
which is always great.
Yeah, it kind of pays back for the entrance fee a little bit and for the experience. It's a great experience to come into these tournaments, to learn a little bit, play with a team, play in a competitive 5v5 environment, which we all know you don't get in solo queue.
Yeah. So we have all 5 team members on the blue side going in for an invade on Elisa's blue here. They're going to get spotted up by Rennington. There's a ward there as well, so they see that they're going to give up on this. Most likely go to their own blue. And we see the Varus Thresh going to get those double golems.
Yeah, getting that double goal and getting that advantage, taking that advantage that is kind of guaranteed on the blue side. But we also see a lane swap coming up here. Ez and Nami go top. Nami goes in to help take out that red and Ez goes top. So we do see that they're taking advantage of those double golems. They don't want an unfair advantage, and they kind of they kind of want the lanes to be even in the sense that in the sense that they don't want an unfair advantage for one ADC to get those double golems and the other one to not. So again, we do see this 2v1 lane Rennington.
Yeah. In this matchup, it's a lot more even than we would see a lot of other 2v1s, just because the Volibear, again, is not a great 2v1 lane. So seeing that, it's going to be really hard for those solo laners, but we'll see which ADC support pair can push down this tower faster, and that really is the name of the game at this point. Don't see a lot of action going on yet.
No, what do you think about these two team fights? We have those, as we were mentioning earlier, we have that huge team fight potential coming in from Hips Don't Lie with that Zyra ulti, the Jarvan ulti, the Thresh ulti, the Varus ulti, and even the Volley ulti, getting that AoE damage across the board. But what do you think about negative space, like team fight potential here?
Negative space team fight potential. They're gonna have a lot of poke with Ezreal, with Lux poke, Elise's spiders. They're gonna be able to poke down a lot. Renekton is most likely gonna try to go for that Varus whenever he has a chance to. Just dives right in.
Yeah.
We see Elise having to come the Thresh Hook all day. We see the jungle. We see Renekton going super low.
And we even see a lot of poke coming down on Elise. So we know that Thresh and Varus is super deadly. And you can just see how much of a threat Thresh is. Regardless of whose hands he's in, we can see that Thresh is an unbelievable. With that knock-up, with the grab and the pull to him, like he can pull himself to them to lock him down for another second. It's unbelievable how useful Thresh is in these situations.
Yeah, and we see Elise spending a lot of time down bot, trying to help out Renekton, trying to give him a bit of help there. But that's a lot of time of shared experience and Elise missing out on her jungle camps. So Renekton having a bit more difficulty. We see Jarvan coming up to help Volibear as well. Usually when you have those 2v1 swaps, the jungle does have to take a bit more care of those lanes. So we'll see if they're able to do anything. Jarvan uses the flag and combo and goes in, but just gets chunked down a little bit.
Yeah, we've cleared up the names at the bottom, so the kind of direct components are opposite. We do see a huge gank coming up from Elise onto the Zyra, but doesn't manage to pick up that kill. Great gank, though. Managed to get Zyra's flash, so that is down. And I also believe that the Lux had to use her flash a little bit earlier to escape a gank as well. So pretty even right now. The gold is actually only 100 difference, which is completely the opposite of what we saw in our last game, where at 5 minutes in the gold was 800 gold difference, which is huge at this point of the game. We do see that there's a little bit more damage on this bottom tower than there is on the top tower.
Yep.
I guess it's the opposite way. Sorry, I'm looking at it upside down. Ez and Nami are putting a lot more damage on Volibear's tower than are Thresh and Varus. And the reason for that is because Renekton's ability to wave clear is so much stronger than Volibear's. Renekton can dash in there, Q, and dash back, and almost take an entire wave within 2 seconds. So
right.
Renekton's ability to wave clear does make him a good 2v1 lane a kind of participant, but not in the sense where he can kind of be the super pokey champion and kind of even out the lanes. But as you were saying earlier, these 2v1 lanes are exactly even. The farm is almost identical. Everything's identical because both of these 2v1 lane guys are melee champions. So the junglers are both babying those two lanes. Jarvan staying top and Elise staying bottom, kind of just to balance out everything.
Yep. It's pretty even match so far. Both teams just trying to stick to their game plan, trying to get those towers down. Renekton and Volibear both just trying to stay alive and get as much farm as they can without putting themselves in too much danger. We see a lot of damage going down on to Zyra, so that Lux mid having a lot of luck there.
Yeah, it's nice. And we see this at least going into Jarvan's jungle and just kind of counter jungling. Denying that Jarvan of his creep, denying him of his levels, and kind of put him behind.
She did have to walk across a ward to get that jungle, so it was a bit dangerous there, but manages to get away pretty safely.
Yeah, so not too much action right now. There's no kills. There hasn't been one... Well, I guess you could argue what a successful gank was. There has been a couple flashes that have been blown, but no kills as of right now. So pretty even game as it stands. Farm is in the favor of Negative Space. They're doing a great job of kind of just farming, not taking a lot of poke. But that farm is spread out. Lux is up about 20 farm. Jarvan's up on at least, though. Both top lanes are identical and ADCs are identical. Thresh is managing to be the better support with 1 farm over Nami. But almost identical otherwise.
See the Nami getting the bubble on Volibear up top, chunking him down a little bit more. Going to put more damage onto these towers, both on top and bot. Volibear managing to get a little bit of CS there. And Jarvan again back up top. Walking over wards to get there, though. So Nami's putting down those wards in fairly safe places. Making sure that, knowing that Jarvan's going to be up there a lot, putting the wards far enough away that they have plenty of time to back off from it.
Yeah, and we see that the towers are coming down a little bit more even. This tower is about 445 health, while this tower is about 179 health. So both these towers are going to go down very fast while the next wave gets through. Yep. And it might be funny to see maybe both teams will end up swapping and just be 2v1 lane on the other side. But I guess we'll see. Elise tries to go for a gank on the Thresh. Thresh does get away, tries to throw a hook to re-engage, but doesn't land it. So they're just going to walk away, a little bit of farm, a little bit of poke, and hope for a better engage.
Yeah. And Elise just sticking around, seeing if she can pick something up.
Yeah, Renekton pops his ult. He's going to try and go in here on that Thresh. Thresh manages to pop him out and slow him down. Varus getting that first blood on Renekton, though.
I'm not too sure why he decided to go on the Thresh, with Varus being obviously the target that most people would go for. Thresh was a bit low, but
yeah, I don't know. It seems like he could have underestimated Varus's damage. Yeah. Varus did a lot of burst damage right away without even a ignite. So weird play by Renekton to use his flash and his ulti to go on the Thresh to pick up that kill. But great play by Futsushi and Boonsauce to realize what was happening, get that kill.
Had that Thresh ult up, which really slowed and prevented Renekton from doing any more damage.
And it prevented Elise from getting in there.
Yep.
So, because if Elise Renekton jump on that Varus had his flash up, also had his berry up. So maybe try and burning summoner spells, but great play either way by Hips Don't Lie to kind of counteract that gank.
Yep.
Yeah, it seemed as though he kind of just suicided for whatever reason, though. Nami's going to try and come here and land a Q onto this Volibear. Maybe not. Maybe just get a little bit of poke off and just go back to farming with that Ez. Both these junglers are doing quite a good job, to be honest. They're doing a great job of farming. They're pretty much even. Elise is down eight or so farm, so they're doing a great job kind of just babysitting the lanes that need to be babysat. The bottom tower has been taken out while the top tower still stands for Volibear. So we could see here maybe the Varus could switch with that Volibear, but I actually think this top tower is going to go down now to the Nami and Ezreal. So this game is honestly identical to this point. They have one kill. They did get that first blood, but that's only changed it by 100 gold. So
yeah.
Nami, you see Nami and Ez coming down here. They might try and get a kill on the Zyra if she pushes up. She doesn't have a ward there, and she doesn't know that they're there.
Yeah, I think they're just going to transition down to bot and switch that up. But I also see Renekton going down bot, so I think they might be trying to either pressure Dragon or just get a kill down bot lane. They are leaving Volibear to catch up on farm up top. There's really no pressure from anyone on him at the moment. Yeah, I'm not too sure what. I think there might be a bit miscommunication with Ezreal, Nami, and Renekton.
Just about what to do. Yeah, they seem to be lost. They seem to be in this sort of situation where they're not too sure what to do, what the next step. Elise just placed a pink ward by Dragon, trying to clear out these wards and trying to take Dragon control, but she actually walks into Jarvan. Jarvan engages on her. Varus misses his ult.
But it's not going to matter.
No,
they had enough lockdown there to keep Elise down.
With that Zyra, even though Varus missed his ult, Zyra managed to use her Q and catch the Elise off guard. And while that jungle's down, you may as well take that Dragon. You have that extra smite. So that was a big advantage. That was a big play, a big misstep and miscommunication by Elise to kind of split away from her team, go into an unwarded bush, and try and get away. Well, Jarvan landed his combo, knocked her up, and knocked her up and got out of there as fast as he could.
Yeah. So we see Ezreal now coming back up top lane. I feel there's just a lot of of wasted time on Ezreal's part, walking all the way down to bottom jungle,
Yeah,
and then walking kind of all the way back up.
yeah, it was one of those situations where
I think
each
the communication was ADC support go bot now.
yeah,
But
exactly.
Renekton was also heading down that way.
And then, yeah, I don't think he realized it. It was one of those situations where there needs to be more communication in their team. It's the same situation where perhaps a jungle finished clearing his jungle camps, everything hasn't spawned, and a unseasoned jungler would just stay in his jungle walking around kind of wasting his time. So there needs to be that communication of wards. There needs to be that communication of where people are supposed to go. And that's what cost them this lead. They got the dragon because of it. They got a kill because of it. And because of that reason, they are now in the lead. They're quite far ahead too, with a 1.5k at 14 minutes. Later on, though, the thing that bugged me about that play is Varus completely missed his ulti.
He did.
He got a field goal in between the Elise and the Lux. Maybe he was trying to scare them. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. just showing the CC
Potential.
Yeah, CC potential. But that's the nuts thing. That's the crazy thing about this is that Jarvan didn't use his ulti. He used his combo. That's it. Varus missed his ulti. It doesn't matter. He missed his ulti. We don't care about that. And they were still able to lock down Elise for her to be able to be bursted down from 100 to nothing.
Yeah, she wasn't able to do her spider jump and save herself.
Yeah, it was just... It was nuts. That's how much CC this other team has, and without even a Volibear. They didn't have to use that Volibear flash Q. All they had to do was just use their basic skill sets, and were able to lock down that champion Elise for as long as she needed to be locked down for, I guess.
So we see it coming down just a little bit. We see blue side just having the presence in mid, trying to pressure this tower, but purple side here is going to defend it. I don't think they want to go down just yet. Renekton going top now. Going to pick up this wave while Ezreal is going to back. And
Yeah, it seems to be an advantage. They're not. I don't think that Hips Don't Lie are. I don't think that either team is quite sure what to do at this point.
No.
They know they want to farm, but there's objectives that aren't necessarily being warded. Like you can see that there's a bunch of wards around Dragon, but that's more for vision of the enemy team. They're not warding Baron. They're not warding Dragon, and they don't have... There are no red wards. There are no... Negative Space doesn't have any wards in the other team's jungle. So, at this point, I think what they want to do is they want to catch up and farm. They want to get that gold back in other ways, so when they do go in team fight, it'll be an even playing field. So we just see a little bit of poke here. If they get an engage... If they want to engage, it's going to be when they lock down that Varus or the Zyra. Yeah. As soon as they lock down one of those champions, that Renekton can go in, Lux can ulti, and Nami can ulti, can split up the enemy team and hopefully lock down a couple kills without risking too much of their own.
Yeah. We see Lux just throwing out her spells, trying to get some damage. I'm really just poking, and the blue side here is just letting themselves get poked down. Lux has amazing wave clear. They do catch the Zyra. Flashes away.
Thresh does
Misses
ulti.
the Ezreal ult.
But you see the CC coming down here.
Yep.
You see that Varus ulti playing a big part. You see the Thresh ulti playing a big part. The Volibear damage coming out here. And just able to lock down. As I said, they weren't able to lock down one of those people. They did lock down
Zyra. They didn't manage to get the kill, which... They used 3 ultis, I believe.
Yeah, they
to try to get that kill.
Yeah,
and while they were jumping on Zyra, Varus was jumping on the rest of them.
Yeah, it was just a great play by Hips Don't Lie to know the limitations of the other team. They know everyone burnt everything on that Zyra. The Thresh shielded the Zyra, let her live a little bit. She back to base while ulting. No, she didn't even ult, actually. She just got out of the fight, and without any ultimates on the other team, Hips Don't Lie re-engaged with that Varus ulti, landed perfectly. The Jarvan ulti landed perfectly, and the Volibear ulted and was just able to go in the middle of everything and start attacking, doing that huge AoE damage that his ulti does, while Varus was just able to free cast while everyone was locked in to his stun and the Jarvan ulti.
So we see Hips Don't Lie taking a pretty big advantage here, about 4k gold up, 6 kills up, and the dragon. Negative Space knows that the dragon's coming up shortly, so they are collapsing around there. Dragon is up, and they're going for it. Volibear is up top. Varus is down by his bot tower. So Negative Space is able to pick up that dragon, close that gold lead a little bit, and get back to trying to farm up.
Yeah, the kills are 6-0 at this point. The gold lead is about 3.1k for Hips Don't Lie. So Negative Space realizes that they're down at this point, and they need to get back in this game through taking these towers that are open and through getting a little bit of this farm. So they're going to try and take down this bot tower. They see that the Thresh and Varus are coming down, but there's also 3 of them there. They don't want to be too risky. They know they're behind, so they're just going to kind of get out of the way and go back, kind of recall, maybe buy a little bit. So but we see Volibear taking this top tower, doing huge chunks at a time, letting the minions tank the turret as they're supposed to, but it's going to try and get this tower down and give his team a little bit more of a lead.
So what do you think Negative Space can do to get themselves back into this game?
At this point, Negative Space, what they need to do is they need to get that ward coverage, which they're trying to do. They have that ward at Baron. They have the wards in their own jungle. But what they need to do is they need to ward and kind of turtle and take advantage of places where the other team isn't. They need these wards to see the vision of Hips Don't Lie so they can get to places, get to towers where there's no coverage, take down those towers, get these objectives, and get back into the game that way. That's the only way at this point that they're going to get back in, or else they're just Hips Don't Lie is just going to snowball, and they're going to be the ones that get to it. Right. Thresh manages to latch Nami with an ult, and Nami's locked down for a little bit. Nami goes down, Lux ult onto every one of them, but Zyre manages to kind of cue and snare the Renekton and Elise so they can get out of their safely. Lux misses her I forget what that skill is called.
Elise manages to get Varus as well, so Varus is out of this fight. Zyre gets Ignite ticked onto her. Thresh pulling Ezreal under the tower. Ezreal using that barrier might be able to stay alive.
No, Volibear managed to pick up both Renekton and Ezreal with his ultimate, attacking the minions because he knows that if attacking the minions because of his ulti, they will just go there. Manages to get the flip on Elise. Elise is probably going to jump down, but Thresh manages to pick up the kill. That kill on Thresh might have just been a kill secured. They didn't want that Elise to flash away. They didn't know if she had it or not. But great reinitiation by that Volibear.
Yep.
Knew that everyone was low, knew that he could go in there, and that good use of his ulti, as we were saying, to kind of good use of his ulti to kind of know that he can attack the closest minion, and because of he's attacking the closest minion, that lightning wave can just be spread out to everybody else. So great play by that Volibear, picking up that triple kill at the end, or double kill, and giving a kill to Thresh to kind of even the playing field.
Yep. So we see Hips Don't Lie trying to steal that buff. Lux ulting, managing to secure that blue buff for herself. That cooldown reduction, super useful on the Lux. Just spam spells all day with that blue buff.
Yeah, with the blue buff, and she also got a Morellonomicon. I believe I just said that too fast. A Morellonomicon, giving her that cooldown reduction, the mana regen. So that's a great item to pick up on that Lux, getting that cooldown reduction with the blue buff.
Also, the passive on the Morellonomicon is really just to prevent Volibear from doing that passive heal up where he can just dive, taking all the damage and walk away. That Grievous Rune will make it so that if Lux is able to do that damage below 40%, he's not going to heal up as much, and he's going to get chunked down.
Yeah, so great pickup by that Lux, knowing that she doesn't want Volibear to come back in there strong. But as you see, Volibear is doing quite well. Volibear top isn't played too often, at least not in this tournament. And he's managed to go 4-0-3 with 146 farm. Managed to get 30 more farm than the Renekton. And just show that he's such a powerful presence in this game. So we do see the gold lead sitting at 4K right now. Kills are 10-2. Towers are 2-1 for Hips Don't Lie. They're obviously in the lead, and they're taking control of this game.
Yeah.
At this point, there's not really any objectives up that they could take safely. Dragon they've already taken. Buffs are already off the map. At this point, Red Buff just came up, but at this point what they need to do is start focusing for Baron. They have that lead where they could fight under Baron, and they have the AoE team fight potential they could fight under Baron. You see some ults coming down from Ezreal and Lux, and they might try and engage under tower here. They know that Ez's ult is down.
Lux ult also was used. Oh no, sorry, my bad.
It was used a while ago, but that 20-second cooldown or whatever it is kind of makes it hard to keep track of it. But what they need to do now, I believe Hips Don't Lie needs to take control of this Baron, and they need to kind of snowball from where they are. They're huge. The Volibear is 4-0-3. This Varus is 3-1-3 with 185 farm, and they're massive. They can team fight so well, but I don't think they're taking advantage of how strong they really are. If they get a good team fight, and if they get good engaged, they can completely wipe the other team. We see the minions maybe even able to take down this tower. No, there's not enough damage right now, but that top tower is really close to dying. It's about half health. So we see these teams where they're lying. They're going to pick up that dragon here somewhat for free. Lux tries to ult that to steal that, but it was too late with no vision on it. So so Jarvan knew that using that smite was a bad idea for that dragon, because if he used his smite, they could just easily go for the Baron and try and get that with the Ez ult, with the Lux ult, and with that smite. That's a lot of damage burst for that Baron. So good call by that Jarvan to not use a smite for that for the dragon pickup, knowing that a Baron is viable now and is a huge threat into this point of the game.
Yeah. And we do see the pings from negative space onto Baron. It might just be, can we clear those wards, or can we ward it up and make sure that we have some vision on it? May not be pinging just to say, hey, let's go do it, but they want to have vision of it. They want to be able to know if it's going down.
Yeah. Renekton actually just threw down a pink onto that Baron, just so we can clear out the wards that they have there. And now you see negative space actually warding very well around Baron. They've focused their attention to targeting out this Baron. They have 4 wards around that Baron, clearing out all wards there, and having complete control over that at this point. Where they're lacking, though, is wards everywhere else in the map. There's no wards in the enemy's jungle, and there's 1 ward in their own jungle, or 2 wards in their own jungle. So they need to look at this balancing. Yes, they have 4 wards there, but 2 of those wards overlap each other right here. They don't need wards in both those bush unless they're trying to set up or trying to figure out if the other team's baiting. I guess the more the merrier, but these wards could be used in better places. Perhaps a dragon ward, or wards in the enemy's jungle. So Blue team seems to be setting up for Baron right now, dropping a pink and clearing out the wards in the enemies, or clearing out negative spaces wards. They're actually not going to do the Baron. They're kind of going to hide. So the ward that I just said was useless actually just spotted all 4 members of Hips Don't Lie. So I take that back. I obviously have no idea what I'm doing. Thought this was Counter-Strike the entire time.
So we see Hips Don't Lie going to try to siege this mid tower. They do have minions pushing both in top and bot on their side. So it might just be a little bit of a siege here. Try to get this outer turret. And
yeah, they're going to try and get this outer turret. The reason why that the wards in their own jungle are important at this stage of the game, or in not the enemy's jungle so much, but the reason why the wards in their own jungle are important in this game are for that baited Baron. Hips Don't Lie can go into their own jungle and they can bait that Baron, and if they manage to catch a couple members of Negative Space off guard, then that's even a free Baron, perhaps a tower or two. So the reasoning for that is quite. That's the reason for that. There's no other way. It's not that it's needed, but Hips Don't Lie is kind of going to set up for this Baron. They see that the team split. Ez is pushing bottom right now. They see Ez right now currently at bottom, and they see Renekton going top. They might try and do a Baron right now with that Ez bottom. I'm not too sure why Ez wanted to go bottom to clear out that the tower, the wave that was pushing, but they're going to go for this Baron right now. Ez isn't there, and Renekton's top, so they can get a little bit of damage right here. They see Ez moving up, and they're going to try and bait this, as we were saying.
Liverpool, Jarvan getting caught up in a lot of that CC, having to back away a little bit. There is that ward there still, so
I get proven wrong twice by that same ward. That damn ward. It was a good placement ward, I guess. That banana bush is a good place to ward. It does give a vision of a lot of places. So my mistake for calling it a useless ward. I apologize for all of our viewers.
So yeah, it just seems to be a bit of a stalemate at the moment. Baron is the next big objective, but no team really has a clear advantage. Even with Ezreal bot lane there, they weren't able to bait it enough to turn and get a kill, or to even get Baron itself. Just going to pick up these buffs back, try to buy, clear out these wards around Baron again, and try to reset up again, and most likely for another Baron dance.
Yeah, you see the kill difference is 8 kills, which is quite a bit of kills, but the gold difference is only around 4K. That's because of the dragon dominance early game by Negative Space. And that's helping them stay in this game at least a little bit.
Yeah, the gold lead, again, like we saw in the last game where the kill difference was huge, but the gold lead was fairly close. Even this game, getting into 30 minutes, 5,000 gold isn't a huge difference. We see it in Gage coming in with Volibear, just tanking all day.
Tanking the tower, tanking Elise, and tanking...
See the Zyra ult, flash ult, and managing to get those kills. Volibear managing to walk away with that passive again. Just walking away
with half health, just like as the other thing is this: Zyra and Volibear just split push that middle. They knew that they could take on that Lux and Elise, while Jarvan, Zyra, and Varus went top and took out that tower. They just got 2 towers and 2 kills for free, while Volibear goes and farms the other person's jungle for whatever reason. He's not helping his team take the tower. He wants his farm, and they're going to get an inhibitor out of this too. An unbelievable split push by Hips Don't Lie, getting that advantage. Volibear using his flash Q to get in and out, and that's the way to do it.
Yep, and we'll see Hips Don't Lie. Most likely they'll go back, buy up, get ready for Baron. Might see
that's
Negative Space rush this Baron, knowing that Hips Don't Lie needs to back.
Yeah, which is what they do. But the thing about Hips Don't Lie is, up to this point, that's exactly what Hips Don't Lie needed to do. They have an advantage. They have a 10-kill advantage, and they needed to push that advantage. They weren't using their damage. They weren't using that advantage to take anything. They were kind of sitting back and farming, and they needed to be confident in themselves that they could fight 2v3, 3v2, and take inhibitors and towers by that. And Volibear, huge at this point. 5-1-3 with the Spirit Visage, Sunfire Cape, and a Blade of the Ruined King. So he knows he's a giant at this point and can solo at anyone and perhaps even 2 people. So they're doing good at this point, taking advantage of their advantage and working that to their best utility. Negative Space is going to try and... They're actually just going to get this dragon for free. There's no wards on that. I'm excited to see if Elise does use her smite here. If she's scared, they're going to... If they're... No, doesn't use her smite, knows to keep that for Baron, and knows there's no pressure on her to use that smite. So I would expect now this Thresh and Volibear to go and perhaps set up for this Baron. Maybe get Oracles or something and help clear that out. You see the ward coverage coming out a lot better from Negative Space in their own jungle. To know that the Baron's coming up soon and they don't want to get baited at all. There's 5 wards in their red camp alone, in and around their red camp. And they know that's what they need to do. I believe that Hips Don't Lie is going to set up perhaps for Baron. Volibear's going to take out a couple wards. Jarvan's going to come meet them. Zyra started Baron. And so they're actually going for Baron right now. They cleared out the wards. Hips Don't Lie is going for Baron, and Negative Space is coming in right now.
Yeah, so they see Negative Space now. Thresh throws out the hook. They're not going to turn just yet. Thresh getting a lot of damage taken down on him. Not really the target you want to go for.
No, but Varus manages to take out that Renekton, and Jarvan going down on this Elise. Elise going to hop down on a spider. Jarvan's going to disengage, so it's a 1-0. Volibear is going so deep right now that Nami needs to pop her ult to get them out of there. Lux and all her friends, except for Renekton, manage to live, while 5 are still alive for Hips Don't Lie. They might want to try and do Baron off here, but Jarvan is super low. Yeah, Jarvan backs to base. They're not going to do Baron. They're going to kind of heal, go by, and get ready for a better fight.
So you saw Negative Space focusing that Thresh again and trying to like chunk him down. I don't think that's the target they want to go for. Even if they do get a bit of CC onto him, kind of rushing him isn't their main priority. And it seems like that's what Renekton, like he had done so with that first blood, is he sees that he's low. He wants to get in and kill him. But
yeah. They keep on going for that Thresh. The Thresh is big. He's 2-0-9, but he's not a huge threat to a team. If you have everyone left except for a Thresh, he's not going to be able to do much. Yeah, he gets a little bit of damage down from his ult. Yeah, he has a lot of CC, but he's not the target that you want to focus your damage on. He's not the target that you want Renekton to go in deep for. Yeah. He just wants... Renekton, I think, is getting greedy at this point. He wants to get a kill no matter what, and that's costing them the game.
Yeah. So we see both teams just trying to keep vision of Baron, trying to keep their jungle and the Baron area warded. Hips Don't Lie do have a huge wave coming into bot, pushing that tower. Negative Space might have to send someone down to clear it. If they do, Hips Don't Lie might try a Baron, or they might try just to push top lane.
Yeah, Hips Don't Lie is warding up the enemy's jungle. As we've been saying for the past probably 10 minutes, that Baron is going to be the make or break for these teams. If they get this top tower down, what's going to happen is they're going to get this top tower down, push this lane back, go get Baron before they can do anything. They also see that their mid and bot lanes are pushing. If they can just wait these out, these lanes are going to naturally push and give them the opportunity to go do Baron without any competition. Jarvan goes
going in, getting locked down,
and he gets caught. I'm not too sure what is going on.
Thresh manages to pick up Nami. The Jarvan ult goes in. Zyra ult's on top of everyone, and that was the combination we were kind of thinking was going to happen. Just a lot of that CC. At least managing to pick up Zyra.
Yeah, manages to be for a 3-for-3 right now.
The Thresh grabbing down Ezreal. Varus managing to pick up that kill there, thanks to that excellent Thresh grab.
Yeah, and Thresh is going to take down this top inhibitor, tower, while Varus focuses on this middle inhibitor. So great play by that Thresh to land that hook at the end to take down the Elise and the Ezreal. So great play by both of those people. Volibear going in so deep and tanking tower for the rest of his team. Jarvan having a little bit of a weird engage, but manages to flash out of the engage and then ult back in to kind of give his team the good start. As you can see, there's a little bit of damage already on the Nexus tower, so this game is super close to becoming to a climactic point where the victor is going to be decided, but that wasn't at that moment. As you can hear, there's lots of noise behind us, so this game will start to get intense real quick, as you could probably tell.
So we see bot waves pushing again. That inhib is down once again, so we'll see a lot of minions coming up mid. Negative Space, just trying to keep vision. Nami picking up that oracles, trying to clear out their jungle. They realize that there's probably a lot of wards in their own jungle, so Nami with that oracles is going to be really useful.
and it's fun to see the item compositions that people go. Jarvan's not one of the best played, or one of the most played jungles right now. He was super big at the beginning of Season 3, super big in Season 2. But you see that he actually went to jungle spirit items. He went the Spirit of the Ancient Golem for that health and cooldown reduction. Then he also went Spirit of the Elder Lizard for that 45 attack damage and cooldown reduction. This increases his attack damage. Both of those passives are unique, so it doesn't give him extra tenacity and it doesn't give him that extra butcher passive, but what it does is it gives him a cost-effective solution to be super influential with that 500 health and 45 more attack damage. So a different play, but a great choice by that Jarvan to kind of know that, yes, I'm not getting kills, I'm not getting the most gold on the team, but I still need to be effective, and to do that I'm going to use cost-effective items to kind of show my strength.
Yeah. And they pick up a quick dragon fairly easily. We see Negative Space just trying to clear out their towers and their base. Traveling as a pack. Volibear just pushing that top lane, going to back and buy. Do you think this is where we're going to see the Baron finally?
Yeah, I think at this point they're going to go back. They just bought. I think they're all going to rush this Baron right now, and that's the only thing that they can do.
Yeah.
They see that bot lane's pushing. Nami and Renekton are going back to their base. They're going to buy. They're going to get ready for this Baron. Yeah. They might see a couple of red elixirs coming out, giving them each a little bit of extra health. But at this point, this is where that Baron needs to happen. This is where the game-changing moment needs to happen. You see Varus maybe walking towards this Baron, perhaps starting it. And no, just pinking it. So Varus actually helping out. That's what I like to see in an AD carry. Helping out, buying a pink ward for his team, and this is where the Baron fight's going to happen. They're setting up for this Baron. There's no wards on there for Negative Space. They just actually found the ward. There's a pink ward in that, but they just cleared it out. So now there's absolutely no vision around Baron. I would say that this is the moment that Hips Don't Lie needs to go for Baron, and that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah. Jarvan goes in, Volley goes in, Varus catching up. All of Hips Don't Lie, or Negative Space, is kind of waiting in here, not sure what's going on.
Negative Space clearing Wraiths.
And Lux manages to steal the Baron with the ulti. Wow.
Oh. So Jarvan didn't get a chance to smite that. The Lux ult came in and stole it away from him. Just a beautiful Lux ult.
That was a blind Lux ult. That was a completely blind Lux ult. Someone needs to buy this Luxa skin because he should play this champion more often and have fun while playing it. That was an unbelievable ult from Lux. Stealing that Baron and letting the other team do all of the work. Just taking that last little bit of... and her ult back up now. That's the amazing thing about Lux. Literally, her ult is back up, ready to go again right now.
So we see Hips Don't Lie now losing out on that Baron. It's going to let Negative Space defend a bit easier.
That
still not out of not out of trouble yet. But,
no, not out of trouble yet. But that Baron buff does give them that huge regeneration, which is going to be so helpful later on, or not later on, but right now during these fights. Lux manages to get this Jarvan.
Jarvan taking a lot of damage.
And Varus, okay, so right now Varus uses ulti. He got an ulti, but they didn't engage on it.
Yeah.
So
it was more of a saving Jarvan ulti.
Yeah, exactly that. But as you can see, that now the tides have kind of turned, to say it in a weird way. The Hips Don't Lie is pretty. It's not sure of where they stand in terms of how far they are ahead. Yes, they're 7k ahead, but the other team has Baron. They have that team fight potential with the Ez ult, with the Lux ult now, and with the Renekton.
And they have a lot of poke on that Negative Space team.
Yes, they do.
Which is what Hips Don't Lie seems to be having difficulties with. As soon as one person gets caught, even if it's Jarvan, he's down to a quarter health by the time he walks away from those fights. And it's just, they're just poking and poking. They had the ward there. They tried using a few ults to get that Zyra down.
Yeah, they tried to flash to get that Zyra. I believe that was... I don't even know who was that flash. That was at least that flash right there. They notice they can't get her, but they know she's low. So what they can do right now is they can get this mid tower down without any fight. The minions are going to tank it. They're going to get this down right away. They might even be able to push the second tower, or might just back off, be happy with that tower. No, they're going to go for it. They're going to go for the second tower and hopefully get this. This would put them a little bit back in the game and manage to balance the gold a little bit more. They don't have what it takes right now to get that tower, though.
So they're just playing a bit safer. Know that they sold a Baron, know that they could get a tower out of that, and they're now just going to go back to playing more defensively, letting Hips Don't Lie kind of make that first move, get under a tower and try to dive them, or just get poked down by them. Negative Space knows they're still a little bit behind and doesn't want to risk it at this point.
Yeah.
But they are doing very well.
This is where the important things come into play. The one important thing that I want to talk about is the fact that, yes, they're 12 kills up, but look at the gold. It is only 6K. It was only a 6K difference. In this part of the game, that's a pretty big difference, but we have to look at where that 6K is divided. So we see here that the gold between the ADCs is 3,000 of that gold. There's a 3,000 gold difference between Ezreal and Varus. Not only that, Varus's damage as an AD carry is so much higher than blue build Ezreal that the fact that Varus, if you let a Varus auto attack, he's going to do so much more work than Ezreal auto attack. So the fact that 3K gold difference allows him an extra infinity edge, that's a big thing to think about. That's a huge damage and a huge difference between those. The other big gold difference comes between Volibear and Renekton, who are supposed to be the tanks for the team, getting to that back line and getting on the ADCs and AP carries. You see Volibear 5, 1, and 7, 13,000 gold, almost identical to that of the AP carry. So he's huge too. Volibear also has 4 items finished. He has his Sunfire Visage, he has the Spirit Visage, the Sunfire Cape, and the Warmogs. So we see that there's a big difference between the two most important parts, or two of the most important roles on the team, and that's the tank and bruiser and the AD carry. So we see them just get a free inhib out of there. Jarvan's going to try and go in on the Elise, manages to get caught. Lux out goes down, Ez-ult goes down, but Varus picks up that kill on Nami. Varus is going to go in, Elise goes down to the Volibear, and it's a 2 for nothing and an inhibitor. What a great play. A great engage. That was just a great engage by Jarvan. He's pretty tanky. He can just go in there. Didn't even pop his Randuin's. Zyra popped her Zhonya's. Doesn't take any damage. And just a great play. Great team fight by Hips Don't Lie. Gets those 2 kills and gets out of there without any repercussions.
They did lose that bot inner tower. They had pinged it for someone to go back and clear that wave. They're going to push out this bot lane again, and Baron should be coming up shortly. So that might be the next objective that these teams go for. So we see Thresh probably going to go ward this Baron. Knows that the timer... Oh, no, just hanging out.
Just hanging out. Just seeing how things are. Did we have a count on Baron? When that should be up?
I can quickly...
I believe that should be up. If I'm not mistaken...
47:19, so in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, about 30 seconds. So they're preparing for this. They're preparing for this Baron fight. This is where Lux come into play. She needs to do this for her team. All the team's goals and dreams rely on this Lux here. No pressure or anything, but the entire fate of this team. No, I'm kidding. But this is where they want to fight this Baron. They have that. They have the. They're zoning them out. But they're going to want to fight this. They might even back off and give them this Baron. The Baron just popped. So I'm not too sure what they're going to do here. They might literally be trying to steal this again. I'm not too sure if that's the best move, if they should want to fight this, but I guess that's the move that they're going for. They're just going to back off. They know they can't fight. They're still 14 kills behind, about 6k gold behind. So they know that they can't fight straight across because the AD carries are pretty uneven at this point. And this where a lot of like the criticism on Blue Build Elves comes out. He's 0-2-5, and he's not doing any damage in a team fight. He's doing some, but he's not doing a substantial amount to the tanks, which is where he needs to be doing the damage.
So we see Ezreal just ulting down bot, trying to clear a bit of that wave. They know they're going to have to fight top tower, and they don't want bot to be pushing at the same time. We see Hips Don't Lie going to siege this top tower. Negative Space does have a lot of wave clear, is able to clear that and stay pretty safe.
Yeah, so they're going to try and take this tower here or engage under it. That's the two things that could happen right here. They might want to engage with that Jarvan. We saw them engage under tower before, and that just might be the thing that they want to do. They're going to clear this tower. Jarvan's just going to tank this tower and hopefully get a kill. Dodges the Nami Q. Varus gets stunned by Elise, but doesn't matter. He's too far back.
The Lux ult coming down, not hitting anyone.
Not hitting anyone. Field goal. Renekton tries to go in, but knows he can't. Jarvan locks down Elise and Renekton.
The Varus ult comes down across everyone.
Varus is literally just auto-attacking at this point. There's no one going on this Varus. Yeah. He manages to pick up a couple kills. Elise goes down to Jarvan. The three are forced back to their base. They're going to pick up this final tower.
Yeah. That tower going down fairly quickly. Jarvan and Volibear both getting stunned, and CC.
Lux picking up Jarvan, but Zyra also picking up Ezreal in that. Oh, and Varus picking up Nami, but Nami also picks up Zyra. So right now it's Lux versus the Varus and Volibear, but they took out that last inhibitor turret. Lux tries to ult to pick up that volley, but no go on that.
Game. Varus alive, doing damage on that Nexus turret, or on the Nexus. Just going to go for it.
Yeah, just not even going to worry about Lux. Needs to get that damage down, and that is game. That Varus was huge. 8-1-9 with 337 farm.
Great game.
What a game.
Great game. Hips Don't Lie had an early advantage. Could have used that early advantage a bit more, but did manage to get out the win. Lux stealing that Baron on Negative Space. Great play there. Managed to keep them in the game a bit longer. Managed to give them a bit of hope. But at the end of the day, all of that CC and all of that lockdown just doing a ton of work for Hips Don't Lie.
Yeah, it was a great game all around. Hips Don't Lie comes out with the victory at 50 minutes, so quite a long game. Lux had an amazing Baron steal, but it wasn't quite enough to give her team the lead. That is the end of the road for Negative Space, but it's been such a great time casting them. We'll have the next game coming up shortly. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kiefer, and my in-game name is Kezik.
And I'm Kajikal, and we will be back in just a little bit. We're going to take a little bit of a break.
Thank you so much, guys.